Morning and welcome to the Red Mic. Hope you're having a good day. Tuesday, LBJ Day here in Texas. And yeah, it's an optional state holiday. So if you're a state employee, you will get comp time for working today. And if you are able to work it out with your boss and you don't want to do comp time today, you can take the day off. So again, happy LBJ Day. Today's Red Mic message, but before we get into today's Red Mic message, these Red Mic messages are leadership and life lessons I've picked up from 25 years as a public servant, 16 years as a youth football coach and scouting volunteer, and 10 years as a mediocre athlete with far more heart than actual physical ability. Today's Red Mic message: avoiding the killers of productivity, avoiding time wasting things and whatnot. Let's just jump right in. What do you got to do first? You should prioritize. Prioritize. A good way, something I like to use, it's the Eisenhower technique. You've basically got a grid. You've got important, important, not important, urgent, not urgent, and depending on what, I've talked about this before, the Eisenhower matrix, it's pretty self-explanatory, but basically anything that shows up on your desk can go into one of these four quadrants. Is it urgent? Is it not urgent? Is it important? Is it not important? Once you figure that out, it's pretty easy. Do, decide, delegate, delete. Do, decide, delegate, delete. You do it, you decide, you decide that it needs to be done and how you're going to go about doing it, and then you delegate something else, and then you just delete other things completely. Do, decide, delegate, delete. It's not hard. Perfectionism. Aim for quality, not quantity, or aim for quality, not perfection. Getting it done is better than perfect, especially if you're in a tight deadline. I had a boss, bless his heart, he would just edit things over and over and over and over. I'd write something, he'd send it back with edits. I'd make those edits, I'd send it back to him. He'd send it back with more edits. You know, I don't know if my cousin Judy's going to remember this or not, but my Meemaw had a phrase. I don't know if you've ever eaten fried liver, but if you've ever eaten fried liver, and I have once, you got to chew it and chew it and chew it and chew it. And seemingly at some point, it just stops getting smaller. My, my mom's mom would say, Pat, at some point, you just got to swallow the liver. Okay. In other words, at some point, you just got to choke it down, get it done. That's the problem with editing something over and over and over again or seeking perfection in everything. We're not perfect people. Workplaces are not perfect environments. Systems are not typically perfect. At some point, you just got to swallow that liver. And that was something my former boss could never quite figure out. In fact, sometimes he would edit things back into a document that were in the first or second iteration that he had decided he didn't want, and he edited it out. And then through the tons of edits, he'd edit something right back in that had been there before. So don't let done and good be the enemy that some people try to make them into. Done is better than perfect in a lot of cases. Seek inspiration, take action, immerse yourself into the project, collaborate. I'm trying to figure out how to put a Phil Dunphy comment or something into a Red Mic message, but even though I am inspired a little bit by Phil Dunphy, hadn't quite taken root yet, so I've moved on for now. So you can seek inspiration, but don't be foolish about it either. At some point, move on, keep going, take action, move on. Mistakes, reflect, improve, seek guidance. That was, you've heard me talk about Coach Tyler a million times. That was Coach Tyler. Figure out what your mistakes are, improve upon them, seek guidance, move on. Okay. Maintain focus. Focus, Danielson. Stop comparing yourself to other people. Focus on your own progress. Celebrate your achievements. Don't dwell on the accomplishments of others. Mind your own rat killing. Focus on what you got to do, move on. Unfinished tasks. Break down your projects, set your deadlines, avoid multitasking. Follow the advice of Charles Emerson Winchester III. I do one thing at a time, I do it very well, and then I move on. God bless you, Charles. God bless David Ogden Steers. Uh, Great guy from MASH, and it's a good mantra to, do one thing, do it very well, and then move on. Because you've heard me say before that I don't believe that multitasking is actually a thing because you can't do two things at once. You can pretend that you're doing two things at once. You can make play like you're doing two things at once, but really you're doing one thing at a time and then you're trying to do the other thing and then you're bouncing back and forth between projects and you're really not giving either one of them the priority they deserve. Figure out whichever one is the urgent and important of the two. Whichever one is more urgent, do it first, knock it out. Or if it's very urgent, but it's going to be huge and the other one might take just a little bit of time, knock it out first and then get to the other one. Prioritize it, figure it out. Have the proper mindset. Don't complain, practice gratitude, surround yourself with positive people. Get people who are in that Ted Lasso mindset. I mean, come on. Collaborate. Build a good support network, collaborate, brainstorm, seek answers if you can't quite figure it out. Collaborate. That's what your teams are there for. Use them. Don't let fear slow you down. Challenge your negative thoughts. Step outside your comfort zone. Seek sport if you have to. Uh, Comic book geek alert here. Hal Jordan, Green Lantern. Uh, he was the man without fear in DC Comics. And from what I believe he was the man without fear before Daredevil ever showed up on the scene. But don't hold me to that. I could be very wrong, and I don't want the Marvel people coming after me with pitchforks and axes. Um, but the whole thing about him getting that Green Lantern ring was the ring supposedly chose a man with no fear, and that was the whole theory and concept about the Green Lantern. But the problem was, Hal Jordan told him, he said, "You know what? I do have fear. I use it though. I channel it into it. It's what's powering the willpower that powers this ring." He said he had a bigger fear of being seen as a coward or a failure, so he channeled that fear into his willpower. That was the driving force behind him being the best Green Lantern of all. Last but not least, live your life, pursue your passions. Don't let fear hold you back. Live in the present. Find activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. And if you've got all that, you'll find that wasting time is just not something you're going to do because if you're enjoying what you're doing, if it's bringing you fulfillment in your life, in your job, in your personal time, whatever it is, it's no longer wasting time. It's part of your goals. It's uh, part of your motivation. So figure all that out. And that's today's Red Mike message. I hope you found some of this interesting. I hope you found it helpful. I hope that you'll be back again tomorrow. I would humbly ask that you like, follow, and share. Please send this message out on your socials. We are now on Rumble. We're on been on Instagram almost from the start, Facebook, YouTube, eh, LinkedIn, Spotify, and my recent favorite. I'm just kind of tickled that I'm on Audible. This is Audible. I love Audible. So anyway, thank you for being here. And again, please like, follow, and share. And don't forget, life is short. Drink the bourbon.